Hello, and welcome to a Property Assessment Review Panel hearing. During the course of this short video, we will highlight the key parts of a Property Assessment Review Panel, or PARP hearing, from the moment you arrive at the venue where the hearing will take place, through to when the panel informs you of its decision and next steps.
Good morning. Please have a seat over here. I'd like to call the meeting to order and convene the session of the Property Assessment Review Panel. According to our daily outline, the next item on the list is Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Representing BC Assessment today is Mr. Matt Andrews. My name is Greg Bunyan, and I'm chair of the panel today. The other panel members are Mr. Gibb Small on my right, and Ms. Rita Parikh on my left. First, I'll ask Mr. Andrews, on behalf of BC Assessment Authority, do you have a recommendation today?
No recommendation at this time.
Thank you. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, shortly we'll be asking you to present your evidence, but I'd like to walk through quickly what the process will be today. I'll be asking you to limit your presentation to approximately 8 to 10 minutes. We are a little flexible, but it should be in that area. At the conclusion of your presentation, the panel members and Mr. Andrews may have some questions or clarifications that are required. Then the assessor will make his presentation, which again will take approximately 8 or 10 minutes. There will be an opportunity for the two of you to ask questions or clarifications, as will the panel members. Unless there's been some agreement amongst you at that time, in other words, the assessor may agree with your interpretation and provide a recommendation, then the panel will leave the room, or we will ask you to leave the room so the panel can deliberate and make a decision. In any event, it's our intention to provide you with a decision today so that you know what we have discussed. So on the basis of that, if you're ready, please proceed as the complainants. We're looking for you to start.
Okay, so I'll hand out these. Made photocopies for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You're welcome. Sale number 3. That house is really similar to ours because it's the same builder built that house. It's 1 year newer than ours. It has the 3-car garage, not a 2-car garage like ours. And that one went for $375 in June. So based on these 3 sales, I think our assessment should be at $370,000, not like the $417,000 that Matt thinks it should be at.
So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, for your evidence. Panel members, Mr. Small and Ms. Parikh, any questions of the appellants today?
Yes, if I may. I'm interested in knowing about what kind of upgrades you might have invested in the last few years.
Well, we haven't really done anything. We haven't, it's the same as it was when we bought it.
Thank you. Mr. Small?
I don't believe I have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Any questions of the appellants today?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. I would like to ask you, please, Mr. Andrews, to present on behalf of BC Assessment Authority in defending the value of the authority as presented for this particular property.
Sure. So I do have some sales information here that I'd like to share. The subject property, which is, in my mind, most comparable to properties number 1 and 2, is valued at $417,000, which is in the range of value. So at this point, I'd like to request that the panel please confirm the value of $417,000. Thank
you, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Small or Ms. Parikh, questions of Mr. Andrews?
Yeah, through the chair. Mr. Andrews, 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, questions of the assessor?
Yes, Mr. Andrews, I don't quite know what you mean when you're talking about 1-story on basement versus 2-story on crawl.
BC Assessment categorizes them differently because they do react differently in the marketplace.
Thank you to Mr. Andrews from the Assessment Authority and Mr. and Mrs. Jones. We appreciate the evidence of both of you today. The panel will now take you a few minutes to deliberate. If you would please depart from the room so the panel can take a few moments to come to a decision. Thank you, and welcome back to the hearing. We'll reconvene the hearing now. The panel has deliberated and taken into account both of your presentations. Thank you very much. and Mr. Small will indicate our decision.
Thank you. The decision of the panel was based on the evidence that was presented in front of us. And there was no evidence to show that there was any dispute as to the value of the land itself. And most of the evidence that was presented was to deal with the valuation of the building that was on the properties. You also made reference to the fact that you felt that your house was of a lower quality than the other houses that were being assessed, but unfortunately there was no evidence presented to us, no photographs of your house showing ordinary countertops versus granite countertops or large chandeliers or anything else like that. So for those reasons, it is the decision of this panel to confirm the assessed value of the property. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you for your presentations. As Mr. Small has indicated, that we will be confirming the role, and the assessed value will not be changing on our records, or the records for by the Species Assessment Authority. Just a reminder to you, as I said at the beginning, that you'll receive official notification for this by April the 7th, and there's an opportunity to appeal to the Property Assessment Appeal Board, should you want to, by April 30th. Thank you, and this concludes the hearing.